welcome back to the Crack Mac. Who doesn't love cookies? Or biscuits, as we call them across the pond. Today, we're making oatmeal raisin cookies. I know, if you don't like raisins, you can leave them out completely. These have a crisp edge and are chewy in the center, just the way I like them. Oatmeal cookies originated hundreds of years ago in Scotland as oat cakes. They were taken into battle by soldiers for a quick burst of energy. In the 1800s, the English added sugar to make them more palatable. The first American published recipe for oatmeal cookies was by Fanny Farmer, and that was back in 1896 in her cookbook, Boston Cooking School Cookbook. That recipe did not include raisins, just oatmeal. However, the Quaker Oats Company was instrumental in promoting oatmeal back in the day. In the early 1900s, they published a recipe on their canister that had raisins in it. It became very popular, and the recipe began to be tweaked, going forward, adding different seasonings, nuts, chocolate chips, so many things. The recipe is highly adaptable. It's a very thick dough, so you could add anything to it. Here are these lovely cookies, which I'm dying to try. So, in order for me to do that, we've got to make them first. So, let's get in that kitchen and make oatmeal raisin or no raisin cookies. Come on. Into our bowl, let's add 227 grams, that's 8 ounces of butter that I have softened. You can do all of this by hand with just a wooden spoon. I'm using a mixer. I'm just going to beat the butter until it's nice and soft and creamy. To that, I'm going to add 137 grams of light brown sugar, 200 grams of regular granulated sugar. I'm going to beat this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's well combined and creamy and fluffy. That took about 3 minutes. To that, we're going to add, one at a time, 2 eggs. Remember to clean the sides of your bowl often. All right, that's looking good. No breakage, no separation. Here I have 218 grams of all-purpose flour. To our flour, we will add a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ¼ teaspoon of cinnamon, a ¼ teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1½ teaspoon of baking powder. Mix it in to combine. We're going to add that to our butter sugar mixture, and we're going to fold it in. Here I have 300 grams of old-fashioned rolled oats. And if you're using 200 grams of raisins, these are optional. Now let's fold those in. This is going to be a very stiff dough. I need my wooden spoon. Thank you, Ashley. All right, that looks really well combined. Let's get our baking tray. If you have an ice cream scoop, you can use that to measure out your cookies. I'm using just basically a dessert spoon size. Wet your fingers just a little bit to shape them. Pat them down a little bit. They should be about a good ½ inch. They don't spread out too much. And we want them to cook evenly. If one cookie looks too big or too small here, now is a good time to adjust that. So this one needs a little bit more of something. So now is a good time to add it on. Okay, so here we have 12 cookies, and I have enough left over for 12 more cookies. You can use 2 baking sheets. Just remember halfway during baking to rotate them and switch shells. So rotate them back to front and switch shells. Since I'm only going to use one, I'm going to freeze the rest of this dough. It will keep perfectly in the freezer for months. And you can have oatmeal and oatmeal raisin cookies anytime you want. Right, we're going to pop these into the oven. It will take 22 to 25 minutes, but I'm going to rotate them after 12 minutes. Beautiful. These look beautiful. Just a little brown around the edges, that's all we want. And they're just firm to the touch. So I'm going to scoot these out on the parchment paper and put them on wire rack to cool, because leave them on the tray, they'll continue to cook, and that's not what we're looking for. We want a little bit of a chewy cookie. Now watch me burn myself. You're back. All right. Oh. It's called The Positive Duck. It reads, I may be a tiny duck, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. You're ducking awesome. That's pretty much how I feel about everybody. How about them cookies? They look amazing. I have coffee ready to go. These two. Oh, hear that little crispy around the edge? Oh, and soft and chewy in the center. Absolutely perfect. Just the way I love a cookie. Most cookies. Here it goes. This cookie is about the oatmeal. It is really crispy around the edge. It is beautifully moist and soft on the center and chewy. Perfect. The trick is, and it's crucial, is not to overcook them. Mine were in the oven for 21 minutes. I had initially said 22 to 25 minutes, but when I peeked in, I saw a little brown around the edge. Perfect, and I tucked them out. So 21 minutes for me to get a crisp edge, lightly browned, and a chewy center. Absolutely incredible. So easy to make. Try them. You'll love them. Please give this video a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And it will help me decide if I'm going to continue doing this or not after my 1-year anniversary, which is coming up in around Easter time. We'll see. I am enjoying it though. And thank you for interacting. I appreciate that. So, until next time, mind yourself. Bye.